Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, The Franchise. I'm joined by the Drew Nicholas. Welcome to the Roundtable Network News. We took a day off on Saturday because the news just kept pouring in and pouring in and pouring in. It is now Tuesday, so we're going to go ahead and drop some news here on Tuesday. Drew, how have you been this week?
It's been short but sweet so far.
I mean, it is only Tuesday.
Exactly.
Today was the first day I went to PT for my torn meniscus, and oh my God, it hurts so bad. So bad. But
Never want to experience that.
Feels good to be able to walk without a crutch, so that's a plus. So let's go ahead and jump into the news, man. Before we get a little too far ahead, ladies and gentlemen, remember it is the Roundtable Network News. You can follow us on twitch.tv/Roundtable Pro Wrestling POD. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all those places. Just go look for the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. We're going to talk about Joe Dorian from TNA Wrestling, how you can help. PWI Insider and a number of readers ask about TNA star Joe Doring as he continues to navigate his battle with brain cancer. Man, brain cancer is a horrible, horrible thing. Shout out to Joe Doring Health. All positive vibes. The report states that we were told Doring is still fighting the good fight against the disease, but obviously dealing with the ramifications of the treatment, it sucks. We were told to not expect him to be returning to TNA programming anytime soon, if ever. Man. So thoughts and prayers.
The ever part hurts.
Yeah, that's damn. Thoughts and prayers out to Joe Doring and his family. Let's hope for a safe recovery, from this horrible disease. If you come back to the wrestling world, that's great. If you don't come back to the wrestling world, life is much more important in this business sometimes. So just please get well.
Very true.
Our thoughts and prayers out to you, Joe Doring, and your family.
So we have a couple of re-signings. We'll get to one first with WWE. The first one that just came out a few days ago, Seth Rollins, who had been we didn't know, what his deal was going to be. He's out injured at the moment. But he was going to be a free agent later this year, one of the numerous free agents. And turns out he will not be a free agent because he has resigned with WWE. He's remaining for years to come, as has been the case with most of the re-signings. FIFO Select was told that it will be a multi-year deal for big money.
We talk about big money, TNA dropping money, bringing in guys. They brought in Mustafa Ali, Matt Hardy's over there right now. So people are dropping money to get these guys to stay. AEW's bringing in big name people. I mean, they just brought Will Ospreay, Mercedes Money. But the WWE is dropping money. They want to capitalize on their main event stars, and they want to keep them. Seth Rollins is out injured right now, but he was there when the WWE announced where WrestleMania 41 is going to be held during the Kentucky Derby. The guys re-signed a multi-year contract. I've said it, and a lot of other people have said it as well. He's going to be a WWE lifer. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. To see him somewhere else would be truly shocking.
So, it's professional wrestling, so never say never.
Never say never. Yeah. Never thought CM Punk would be back, but here we are. So they had also recently gotten deals for Finn Balor right after WrestleMania and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, interestingly, The Rock posted about Drew McIntyre
on Twitter, no less.
Signing. That was Instagram, actually. It was on
Instagram, yeah.
Very strange. I don't know why, but hey. He was supposed to be out like as close as June, a month away from now. So that's good because he's got a hell of a story right now with CM Punk.
Oh man.
And that's great to get him in too. He also has a multi-year deal, big money deal, and he is, as I said when that was announced, the new big money Drew.
Wasn't it like $4 million a year for like 5 years or something?
There's no numbers put, but
I thought I saw it, but somewhere I don't know if it was, but if it was on Twitter, it's not true. But I swear I saw it somewhere. But I mean, hey, that's
yeah.
still amazing. Drew's one
Congratulations to the
of the
both of
highest
them
paid
for
men in
getting
professional wrestling right now. So yeah,
the money that they deserve, and uh, yeah, and hopefully Seth is back soon, heals up, and we'll see what happens when. Well, technically, Drew also is not on
medically cleared.
TV because he was supposed to be in the King of the Ring tournament qualifiers last night, but was replaced. I don't remember who replaced him.
Jay Uso.
Oh, Jay Uso did. Okay. So obviously they did that for a reason. But he was
Yeah,
still on the show. He just didn't
yeah.
wrestle.
You just didn't wrestle. Um, let's switch gears real quick because I'm dying to talk about this. If you lived under a rock, you don't know this story. But today it
And I
blew up
live
on
under a
Twitter.
rock.
Apparently, Drew's been under a rock. It's been in our group chat all day. I don't understand how Drew didn't see it, but we have lives other than this podcast. Um, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. The dude has been making news all week, from saying he had multiple heart attacks during his last wrestling match, some stuff that Hulk Hogan would probably say, to say he had multiple heart attacks during his last wrestling match, to getting kicked out of a Florida restaurant. Yesterday, look, the Gainesville Sun reported that WWE Hall of Famer and all-time great, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, was ejected from Pearson Stone's Fire Pizza while in town for a college graduation ceremony. The Sun reports that Flair in a situation on Twitter, writing, "I spent $1,500 at Pearson Stone's Fire Pizza to be disrespected more than I ever have in my entire life. After taking 20 pictures with customers and staff, I was asked to leave because of an issue I had with the kitchen manager taking too long in the bathroom. I would highly recommend that anyone who wants to enjoy a relaxing time in Gainesville at the nicest restaurant to never visit this place." And he ends it with a woo. That
There
was on the
needs
first.
to be a woo.
I'm not wooing. The restaurant's co-owner, Jerry Roberts, told the newspaper that video evidence, which will be not currently available at the time, according to the story, tells a tale as to why Flair was asked to leave, commenting, "We have reviewed video of the incident that took place recently at our restaurant. It is clear that our team worked in a professional manner to ensure the safety of the guests and staff. We have thanked our team for their professionalism. We are proud of how they responded to this situation, using and displaying our team values." Look, let me tell you, I've seen the video on Twitter. It's in our group chat right now. I've seen the video. I want to air the video on the show, but I don't want to get a copyright strike, even though it was on TikTok too. Apparently, a patron in the restaurant recorded the whole situation and posted it to TikTok. It's so funny. Ric Flair offers $1,000 to this lady, to one of the restaurant ladies. She was trying to calm him down, and Ric Flair stated, "I will give you $1,000 if you call this guy a dipshit. I will tip you $1,000." I laughed so hard. I was in a work meeting, and I saw the video. I laughed out loud. Okay, it was so funny to hear Ric Flair just going off on this guy. So funny. I'm not going to tell you who was in the right or who was in the wrong because I wasn't there. But to tell you that Ric Flair was acting a complete and utter ass was very funny. It was amazing. It was the greatest thing. It was way better than Tony Khan showing the CM Punk Jack Perry choking incident on TV. It was better than that. I'm telling you, Drew, go back and watch it. It's like 6 minutes of pure entertainment. It's almost as good as the Tom Brady roast last night. Almost as good.
I hadn't seen that either.
Oh my God, you gotta see that.
Except that one part. about Aaron Hernandez, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm telling you, so bad.
So the next thing I want to talk about is AEW hired a new director of live events, and his name is Jeremy Flynn. Flynn previously served as senior director of marketing and live events for him too. Wait a minute, wasn't I don't remember the name of the person that they just recently hired.
Yes, go ahead, continue the story.
Flynn previously served as senior director of marketing live events for Professional Bull Riders.
Bull Riding Association.
Somebody else did that too, that they hired recently.
I can't think of the guy's name, but yes, he's a director of something else.
He has an MBA in business administration, but was working with Professional Bull Riders. Incredible.
Big money, man. It's big money.
Previous person, Raphael Morphy, held the title of Vice President of Live Events Touring in AEW from June 2019 to December 2023. And Morphy took a job at the Barclays Center, 20 minutes away from me. So good for him, and good for them. Happy for Jeremy Flynn. I guess wrestling is better than bull riding, according to him and the other person who came from that same bull riding company.
Apparently is very lucrative. So, well,
all the
speaking of
betting.
AEW, Ricky Starks went after the former World Tag Team Champions Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Ricky Starks provides an update on his injury status by stating, "I'm not injured." After months of being off television, many have wondered about the status of Ricky Starks. Last seen on air, Ricky Starks and Big Bill were eliminated from the World Tag Team Championship tournament by Top Flight. The finish raised a lot of red flags. People thought that Starks may have suffered a legitimate injury during the finishing sequence. It really doesn't help the fact that Big Bill is now part of a new group, the Learning Tree with Chris Jericho. So it seems like Big Bill has moved on from Ricky Starks into a singles program. So, what does it look like now? So what is Ricky Starks up to? According to the experienced talent, he is not hurt. On Monday, PWI Insider reported that Ricky Starks was backstage at the AEW tapings last week for a medical evaluation. Starks has elaborated on his social media, claiming that the evaluation had nothing to do with a potential injury. He said, basically, yeah, because everyone had to do their annual physicals, he replied. In the first post, it didn't make it clear that Starks was insinuating that he was spelling things out in the message. So Ricky Starks said this, "To ease everyone's mind, I'm not injured." He said that on Twitter. Never was. Pick another narrative, please. So people, the IWC was just claiming he was injured. April was the first time since mid-2021.
Well, I mean, he looked like he was injured from the end of that match.
Yeah, I that's what I'm thinking. April was the first time since mid-2021 that Starks went for more than a month without being in the ring. He had a tag team title reign early in the year alongside Big Bill, holding the tag team belts until February when he lost the belts to Sting and Darby Allin on Dynamite, right before Sting's dramatic run to his final match. So I mean, obviously Ricky Starks not hurt, but the rumors are Ricky Starks is looking to go to WWE, following Jade Cargill, following Cody Rhodes. There's a lot of things that happened over the last couple of weeks. I mean, hey, who would have thought that Tonga Loa would join the WWE, formerly Camacho in the WWE, because he was there before as Camacho. But
I remember.
Yeah, he came back during the WWE Backlash in France to help the Bloodline. He joined Tama Tonga, his cousin, and Solo Sikoa as the new members of the Bloodline. So you never know what's going to happen in the world of professional wrestling. And it's crazy because I did a little research. Tama Tonga's contract expired or ran out, and so did Tonga Loa. But New Japan Pro Wrestling didn't make a big thing about Tonga Loa. They made a big thing about Tama Tonga.
I didn't hear anything about his contract expiring, about him not being with the company anymore.
Apparently, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa signed with WWE at the same time. So they've been under WWE contract for at least since February, late February, early March.
And everybody thought that it was going to be Jacob Fatu.
No, well, Jacob Fatu is signed to WWE.
He signed, but I'm saying like everybody thought that the next person that was going to be involved was
I'm selfish.
him.
I was hoping it was Jacob. I want the WWE world. I want the world outside of the Indies to see how good Jacob Fatu really is. So, shout out to my boy Jacob Fatu. Anyway, what you got next, Drew?
Okay, so I'm going to leave it up to you. I found another toy to talk about, but do you want to talk about the good, or do we want to talk about the bad?
Talk about the bad first. That way we can leave the good out at the end.
That works. So Vince McMahon, everybody. And John Laurinaitis. So, if we can all go back in our brains to 2 or 3 months ago, I think it was. I think it was January, about January. Story came out that John Laurinaitis was a victim in the Janelle Grant and Vince McMahon.
You know, to quote the great, great actor Eric Draven, the Crow, victims, aren't we all?
Well, one of them is legitimately.
Because one of them is a victim.
But John Laurinaitis called himself a victim of the entire thing as well. However, a few days ago, John Laurinaitis seemingly flipped sides and is now siding with Vince McMahon against Janelle Grant. He never actually, I don't think he was never like actually on Janelle Grant's side. It didn't seem like.
Yeah, because they were both named as plaintiffs or defendants rather. So,
but now he's chosen a side, and it's Vince McMahon's side. So we got from the Wrestling Observer, John Laurinaitis has filed a motion fully joining in and adopting Vince McMahon's motion to compel arbitration. Mr. Laurinaitis corroborates Mr. McMahon in publicly declaring that Miss Grant, her allegations of sexual abuse and coercion in her complaint are unfounded.
Now, see, it's so confusing because less than 3 weeks ago, not only was he claiming he was a victim, but he was claiming he was a victim of Vince.
Right. Yes.
And that Vince was basically the one that did it all by himself, and he just happened to be brought into it. You know, it's like, oh, hey, I didn't know my friend was driving the car that robbed the bank yesterday. I was just in the car with him. Now he's like, I know he robbed the bank, but I wasn't part of the robbery. So now you're saying you didn't know that you were a victim. Now you're saying, well, you did know, but you weren't a victim, and she's lying. So I don't understand why the flip so quick.
So in the article, it does also say previously, Laurinaitis' lawyer released statements that backed up Grant's side, but claiming he, like Grant, was a victim. That was John Laurinaitis. Originally, his post, it was back in February, told Vice News back in February. Mr. Laurinaitis denies the allegations in a misguided complaint and will be vigorously defending these charges in court, not the media. Like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in this case. Like the plaintiff. Keywords there. Like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in this case, not a predator. The truth will come out. And now, I guess he's not a victim anymore. And then unfortunately, by stating that he sided with McMahon and that no sexual abuse or coercion took place, it hurts the Grant argument. It would make sense for Laurinaitis to want everything in arbitration because a sympathetic jury and everything in public would bring with it far more publicity regarding McMahon, who loves publicity so much. but also a sympathetic jury could be more unfavorable because uh, unfavorable from a financial standpoint to McMahon and Laurinaitis, provided the jury believes Grant. So it's going to be um, one or the other. And those close to McMahon have stated that they believe her story will fall apart once she is deposed. So we will see what happens here. I kind of had a thought that maybe John Laurinaitis had a little bit of a spine,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but
well,
he broke it off and handed it to McMahon. So
pretty much.
uh, we'll see what happens and continue updating on this unfortunate story.
Well, let's talk about some real cool stuff. Courtesy of WrestlingNews.co, backstage news on what cities the WWE considers for future WrestleMania events before the acquisition by Endeavor. So Endeavor came in, a lot of changes were made. WWE since Endeavor joined last year. The TKO merger that included things included in WrestleMania as well have changed. The announcement over the weekend was that WrestleMania 41 will take place in Las Vegas, Nevada, April 19th and April 20th at Allegiant Stadium. Okay. In addition to Mania, Raw, the WWE hold World Fan Access, Drew's favorite place now, World Fan Access, SmackDown Hall of Fame, NXT, and Monday Night Raw during the weekend as well. So they're all going to be in the same place, which is freaking awesome. This was a change from the earlier announced Minneapolis, Minnesota, which had been a four front runner to host the show at US Bank Stadium like a while back. So PWI Insider reports that before the acquisition, WWE was looking at cities like New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Orlando, Florida as the lead candidates to hold a future WrestleMania. So when Hans Sabar, who was presiding as WWE Executive Vice President of Special Events, he departed from the WWE last year and is currently working at Full Sail University. Um, Regarding the Minneapolis thing, it was said that while it was looking extremely likely before the Endeavor acquisition, things changed at some point when ownership decided that they wanted to go to Vegas. Now, me personally, I predicted they were going to go to Vegas weeks ago because the UFC is already holding NXT there. The UFC has their own annex there. Vegas is like the biggest hot spot for sports entertainment right now. So to have WrestleMania there, and I predicted WrestleMania would be there when they had the WrestleMania last year, this past WrestleMania, when they went to Vegas to have a press conference. Like that was highly unlikely. So I knew that was going to happen. So basically, the relationship with the UFC and the WWE, and Las Vegas, um, they basically are going to make that WWE's new home. The UFC has many events there. Its headquarters is in Vegas, so the WWE running shows out of Vegas is just a thing. Per the report, Orlando and New Orleans are not guaranteed locks going forward, considering for host cities as well. That's come down to many cities willing to pay to host, including London. Can you imagine WWE WrestleMania in London, England? Like after what happened in
I don't know
France?
if it will ever really happen. But
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't
hey,
know. I mean, what happened in France that changed the whole landscape. It was said that WWE President Nick Khan and his team will be extremely receptive to the idea if London wants to pay the right amount of money for it. So right now, WrestleMania is all about, yo, do you want to pay enough? The city, do you want to pay enough money to have my event in your city? That's crazy. That WrestleMania is such a money maker that the city is willing to pay X amount of millions of dollars to get WrestleMania there. I mean, geez. I'm excited because I get to go to WrestleMania next year. The Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast is going to broadcast live from WrestleMania live at WrestleMania next year. Man, it's going to be hot. Hopefully, my Neo will be 100% ready so I can wrestle a few matches. I'll come out of retirement for those matches.
Good luck with that because I will not go.
You're not going to come to Vegas with us?
Absolutely not.
Damn you, Drew. Damn you, Drew.
Yeah, Vegas. I'm just not. I will never probably go to a WrestleMania only because the getting in and getting out is like a disaster.
Oh, I
So
mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
yeah.
actually go to the event. I'm saying go to like all the other things, like Wale Mania. I'm telling you, Drew, you haven't lived until you went to a Wale Mania. I'm telling you.
I will one day. I
WrestleMania?
would have because it was during my work time. Unfortunately, this year I probably would have went when it was in Philly a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Wale Mania is
Um,
awesome, bro.
yeah,
Anyway, let's go ahead and close it out with your happy story.
ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some Legentil activity. Chris Legentil, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. It's Legentil, so I'm imagining that that's it.
Sure.
Has been promoted to a WWE Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and Head of Communications. Um, Also from Mike Johnson from PW Insider reported Chris Legentil had been promoted to Executive Vice President. He had served as Senior Vice President previously of Global Communications. And Legentil joined WWE in April 2021 and led WWE's communication in recent years. There was, of course, one person who previously was EVP of talent, and that was the person that sucked at his job, Dan Ventrell, who we've
I was
talked
about to
about on this
say,
show,
yeah,
uh, was likely the reason why all of these big names that we just talked about and names that we've talked about the past few weeks were almost close to being free agents.
yeah, hesitant to sign when that guy was in office.
Yeah, that guy was not good at his job.
Yeah,
And
he had one job.
yeah, exactly. And the memo sent out internally regarding Dan Ventrell's departure from WWE as EVP of Talent, courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. WWE has begun the process of reorganizing its talent relations group. Moving forward, Chris Legentil, in addition to his role in communication, will help us in leading this new group. Matt Altman, in addition to his role in marketing, will be working closely with Chris to help in this endeavor.
Hmm.
Talent development and recruiting will now report to Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm. Who will report
All
to
of
Triple H?
all of talent, which includes talent relation and development and recruiting, will continue to ultimately report to Paul Levesque. As of today, Dan Ventrell will be moving on from WWE. We thank Dan for his tremendous contribution.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
That's I think the new future endeavor line probably.
Yep.
Sincerely, Nick Khan. So
Oh, Nicholas.
uh yeah, so Dan Ventrell is out. Chris Legentil of the very popular meme on Twitter, Legentil Activity, is in.
Sliding in there.
And yeah, so good for him. And hopefully we don't see all these free agents happen anymore.
Well, speaking of free agents, Xia Li is now a free agent and she is accepting bookings. If you want to book her, you can go to her xiali@gmail.com. You can book her there. You can go ahead and hit her up for bookings there. I mean, so many things are happening right now, but let's talk about someone that, I mean, I think you have this story. Let's talk about Drew Gulak.
Oh, that was a
That's,
you thing.
oh no,
That's
I
your
don't want to
story.
talk about, I don't want to talk about Drew Gulak.
You don't want to talk about Drew Gulak? Well, all right, fine. I guess I have to. So let me pull it up. Uh so yeah, Drew Gulak is gone from WWE.
Thank God.
We had I believe this came from Fightful Select, right? Yes. A surprising turn of events, or maybe not anymore. Drew Gulak's tenure with WWE has come to an end. While speculation was rife about his release since the Ronda Rousey story came out last month, it turns out that there's a bit more than meets the eye here. So, amidst the allegations and incidents, his contract will not be renewed, shedding light on internal dynamics within the NXT brand. So, it seems like if they're not releasing you outright, like they've done with Xia Li and Zion Quinn and a couple of other people, um, they just tell you that they're not renewing your contract, and then they just, I guess, make you sit at home and ride it out until it's over. So that's what they've done with Drew Gulak. So the spark that ignited an investigation into Drew Gulak's behavior stemmed from, like I mentioned, the remarks made by Ronda Rousey. Her claim prompted an internal probe within NXT, uncovering a series of concerning incidents involving Drew Gulak. There were allegations of bullying and unsafe practices that nobody was made aware of. We know publicly, at least. Insights gleaned from conversations with Fightful's Corey Brennan, who heads up most of the NXT news and stuff, unveiled the troubling testimonies from several NXT talent. Allegations depict Gulak as a bully who exploited vulnerabilities during matches, particularly targeting those in the process of recovering from minor injuries. Shocking accounts include instances where Gulak purportedly exacerbated injuries, with one talent recounting a deliberate redislocation of a previously injured finger. Furthermore, Gulak would intimidate his opponents into not reporting these incidents. So, one of the incidents mentioned was a notable incident during a taped event last year. Gulak found himself on the receiving end of reprimands from esteemed figures such as Shawn Michaels and NXT coaches. Reports suggest Gulak's actions during a match include and I actually, there was a video going around of this. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
I did see it was a match against Dante Chen, I believe. And it was perceived as deliberate endangerment of an opponent when he intentionally spiked Dante Chen's head. Warranted stern rebuke and highlighted concerns over professional conduct and safety protocols.
Spiking someone's head into the ground, man. Look, as a professional wrestler, that's a friggin' no-no, man. You can not only break someone's neck, but if let's just say, for instance, they don't get a broken neck, you can cause severe CTE, just all types of injuries. You can kill someone by spiking them on their head. So by doing something like that, and you're a coach, like he was like a coach too at NXT. You doing something like that, I don't know, man. I have no respect for someone that would do that.
No, neither do I. And there's some more insight from NXT talent, echoing sentiments of unease. One NXT talent who collaborated closely with Gulak described his behavior as odd. Notably, Gulak appeared to test fellow talent through what can only be described as bullying tactics, probing reactions and asserting dominance in an unsettling manner. So yeah, that's messed up, to say the least. And
that's a nice way to put it.
and because it's the news show, I don't want to curse.
Yeah.
But yeah, F that. And I'm glad that he is no longer around, because that's not any behavior that should be in a wrestling locker room.
We usually don't come on this stream and view our opinions. We usually don't come on this stream and say, I, Bad Blood, I, Drew, we dislike this. We usually just come on here, talk about the news, give you the actual factual, and then that's it. But sometimes we do drop a little bit of our own commentary, and I don't know, man. I just that does not make me happy to know that something like that happened. And back in the day, it was It was Bob Holly, who was the locker room bully, who was the guy who was like, "Yeah, we'll see how tough everyone is." Back in the day, it was JBL. Let me see how hard I can hit somebody before they, before they want to go whine and tell. It's not whining and telling anything like that, dude. Like we're all grown ups, we're all men, we're all professionals. Act like it. Be a star. Be a star. You know what I mean? WWE went for years promoting anti-bullying, saying be a star, while some of their guys were bullies. So yeah, it is what it is. So before we head on out of here, let's talk about today in wrestling history. I need to make a doom 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 for that. Today in wrestling history. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Today in wrestling history, May 7th, 1965, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Sorry, I'm Canadian. I should have said it right. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The one and only Owen Hart, the King of Hearts, was born. Happy heavenly birthday to you, Owen Hart. And in 1970, this is near dear to my heart because I am also a former NWA Western States Heavyweight Champion. As a matter of fact, that title sits in my trophy case in the other room. Terry Funk, the legendary Terry Funk, rest in peace, Terry Funk, defeated Ricky Romero for the NWA Western States Heavyweight Championship in good old Amarillo, Texas. And in 2009, this is our final story, our final Today in Wrestling History Today. Good things do happen to good things do happen to good people. Because in 2009, the WWE signed this young up-and-coming wrestling star, Fred Sampson, a New Jersey-based independent wrestler, to a developmental deal. Sampson would debut on WWE television as the one and only Darren Young in the first season of NXT, which was Tough Enough, whatever, whatnot. He would later become a founding member of the Nexus, and he would later become a New Japan Pro Wrestling strong superstar known today as Fred Rosser. So, yep, that right there is Today in Wrestling History. I'm the franchise. That right there is Drew Nicholas. We will see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite recap and AEW Dynamite recap and trivia, where I am the current reigning, defending, undisputed, undeniable trivia champion.
Not for long.
Damn you.
Long. You know,
is it my time to shine?
It's always your time to shine.
That means I'm going to lose, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Drew just put the hex on me. Sunday Center must be coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you when we see you. And remember to go like, click, and subscribe.